Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? Today is November 15th, 2024. Market opens in exactly 3 minutes, and the market is beginning to sell off even more aggressively than we seen yesterday. So we are selling off, going down to that 505 um, retest. It's at 503, so now we're going down to 500, 498, stuff like that. Now we are going to give it a minute for everyone to join, as we do have a couple different communities. We have our Learn to Earn team that we go live with every single morning. That's what you're watching right now. You have access to 100% free Discord where you get all my live market updates, Trade Me Watch live every day, and you can even ask me questions while I do it. You can check that out. First pinned comment in the comment section, and the second link in the description. So let me spread my link around real quick, make sure everyone gets in and attends. There we go, share. Today's a good day, guys. Markets are selling off, so we are betting on SQQQ. Up about 10% right now. Always able to buy more when it does begin to show progress to the upside. Okay, perfect. Yesterday we went over the FOMC meeting with Jerome Powell. We got to listen to him speak. That was a really good session that we had. A lot of people tuned in. So I do appreciate your support. Did just cross over 6,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Thank you to every single one of you for your support. Today's Friday, guys. We got a lot of exciting news today. I'm still sharing my link, but in just a second, we're going to go over some of that. Like, for example, the U.S. stocks are lower to close a losing week following the post-election rally. Shares of Domino's Pizza and Pool Corp are up in pre-market trading after filings show that Warren Buffett or Berkshire Hathaway took stakes in the companies Domino's and Pool Corp. Now, Applied Materials shares are sinking after its quarterly result disappoints Samsung Electric's shares jump in South Korean trading on a 7.2 million buyback plan. So Applied Materials did not get a good earnings report, and they are actually selling off as well very aggressively from their 200-day moving average. Palantir Technologies, on the other hand, shift as its listing to the NASDAQ from the New York Stock Exchange. So that is very nice. You can see this is staying very bullish from that $40 mark all the way up to 63. So Palantir is very bullish indeed. Okay, market is officially open. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Qs. Qs are somewhat pushing up. Here we go. Let's see how bearish this really is, or if this is just going to be some type of a bear trap. Today, are we going to bounce off of this $77 level, or are we going to see lower lows? I'm kind of excited today. I'm excited to see what happens. If QQQ begins to push up from $500, then we'll have to get out of our SQQQ position and then get into TQQQ. We are trading the market today. JDST is selling off, which is good because that means JNUG can now be bullish. JNUG can now be bullish. That's exactly what we want to see. Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin is trailing along right where we thought it would, kind of up and down, up and down. It's not really going to be doing much probably for the rest of the week. We're just going to be watching this kind of trade sideways. Now, Mara, or M-A-R-A, this is a company we've been trading frequently for quite some time now on the channel. This is one of those companies that's true and dear to my heart. I love it. Why? Because it makes us money consistently every single day. So, BTCT also not looking very good. It was up to $23 pre-market, even $20 pre-market, now down to $18.80. Good opportunity to buy low if you feel like this can begin to go up even more. But as Bitcoin begins to sell off, we can see these companies get even lower. Mara can get lower. BTCT can get lower. So we do want to be aware of that. Now, if it pushes up above, say, $19, we may be able to see a little bit of action. So above $19 for that. Looks like it's just making a descending pattern downward. A descending pattern down. QQQ selling off still, which is great. Which means SQQ is going to begin to push up. So we're going to buy a couple more shares at market. Okay. Yep, looks like it's selling off, guys. I'm going to try to get a retest here, possibly. Yep, there it is. Going to sell off. That's what we want to see. The market is selling off. Now, a big reason why the market is selling off, too, not only was it the missed earnings from Applied Materials, but U.S. stock markets in general are pushing lower of the gains following a post-election surge. So, I mean, there was a reaction, which means there was an overreaction. And now that there's been an overreaction, the market has to kind of come back down and stabilize to its normal trading value. So futures are lower about 1%, while S&P futures are down about 0.5%, and Dow futures are down about 0.5%. Now, all three indexes are poised to finish the week lower following a record-setting rally last week due to the presidential election of Donald Trump, which was just fantastic. Now, markets slipped Thursday following comments from the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell that indicated the central banks could slow its rate cut schedule if the economy remains strong. So it was a really great speech. I recommend you going back and taking a look at that. It's very informational, educational, and inspirational, honestly, to many people out there who are wanting to get involved in the stock market and basically just want to do the same thing, and that's just learn how to make money, investing in stocks. So you came to the right place, guys. This is a great community to be involved in, and we make money consistently, and I know you can too. So SQQQ still pushing up. Applied Materials stock sinks on weak earnings revenue. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Applied Material. Shares of Applied Material, or AMAT, are dropping 8% pre-market, trading after reported earnings that missed expectations for its fiscal fourth quarter. The semiconductor equipment maker reported net income of $1.73 billion, or $2 per share, down from $2 billion, or $2.38 per share. Now, last year, and shorts of analyst consensus estimates from Visible Alpha, Applied Material also projected first quarter revenues of $7.15 billion, plus or minus $400 million below consensus at the midpoint. So they did not get their earnings that they expected. Now, there is a lot of volume. It looks like this volume is going to be more or less some buyers coming in that are interested in getting a lower price. So it could be a good reversal play back to those previous highs. 168 to 187, $20 per share, or about 11% profit. So Applied Material is definitely on our oversold list. It's not something I necessarily want to add, but it's definitely something we should add, seeing how we have the ability to potentially make money. Markets are still selling off, guys. So in order to take advantage of the market selling off, if you don't feel like waiting for the opportunity for it to bounce, you can always get into SQQQ, pushing up from $30 already. I should have known from earlier in the week when there was heavy resistance at 516. Right there, I should have started buying on SQQQ in that $31 and $32 range. Fortunately for me, I didn't. I started buying here when it started showing signs of confirmation on this 9 moving average, the EMA line, this purple line here, showing that it's bouncing perfectly off of that 9-day EMA, and at the open showing that the market is still overbought and selling off, therefore buying into more shares, and that way we are able to make some money. So I'm very excited. We're going to go ahead and buy a few more shares here. I'm going to split these up into increments, small increments, nothing too crazy. But as it continues to go up, we're going to continue to add to our position. Okay, if I would have added a bunch here and it sold off, we would be down not only in our position size because we went full in, but also we'd be down a day trade, right? We wasted our cash money in our trade. So now it's pushing up. We're going to be adding more and more to it. You know, nothing crazy aggressive, few $100. I've noticed that the less aggressive I am, the less money I have in, the more comfortable I am with my decision making, and therefore I can hold longer or I can get out quicker without necessarily worrying about any financial concerns, right? Whether I'm making enough profit or if I'm actually leaving too much on the table, or if I held it so long that now I'm digging into my profits and losing money. So it's all very complex, yet you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want, depending on your trading style. So we are pushing up here, looking great on the 1 minute. This is exactly what we want to see. Lots and lots of bullish activity, betting against the market, guys. Okay, so SQQQ is a 3 times triple leverage, so it's a triple leveraged ETF that tracks the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ that I like to use for tracking is the QQQ. Most of the NASDAQ is made up of technology companies anyways, so it's interesting to see that this is starting to fall as people shift from tech to AI. Now, because the market is selling off, looks like we might get a possible bear trap right here or a potential reversal waiting. But if this is a bear trap, be careful as the market could continue to sell off. Now, if it does retrace and come back down, this would be a good opportunity to buy in to TQQQ at a low of 76 to get back to a high of, say, 83, right? So now this is kind of in that overbought territory, right? In that buy range area that I specified during our Sunday night stock talk. Now, look at that. Bearish. It's very bearish, guys. So we want to make sure that we maintain our SQQQ trade. And every time there's a little dip, we could always buy a little bit more. And that's what's so great about this. Buy another couple here at 34. Okay, we're in almost 10 shares at $306 roughly. This is a nice amount of money for me to where I can actually come in, and if I wanted to buy 100 shares, I'd be able to get a really nice average down if it dropped, or I can get out. You know, it loses 10% of 300. You know, that'd be $30. You know, imagine losing 10% of 3,000. That'd be $300. So keeping your risk very minimum, making sure you're increasing your stop losses or your trailing stop as you see fit. It goes up. So we're up a 0.5% point. I could see us getting up to maybe 1 or 2% on this trade if it technically keeps up with what it's doing right now. See how it's extremely bullish. It's got a nice reversal pattern setup. This is what we talk about all the time. And our trading sessions are, you know, basically 3 stages of reversal. This is what we want to see every single time before we make a trade. Okay. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely take a second to maybe screenshot this because this is a perfect example of what we look for every day in our live streams, right? We want that stage 1 rejection to be completed. We want stage 2 consolidation to pretty much be on its end going up. We're going to put in 10 to 20% of our position size here, and we're going to ride it up in that stage 3 or confirmation stage. Okay, we want to be investing in stage 3, not stage 1 or 2. All right, I hope that helps. Hope that helps. Slight pullback here. Not bad though, not bad. Okay, another example of the 3 stages of reversal. 0 to 10% of your position size is going to be in stage 1. Then you're going to start having a light position in your consolidation area. This is that area on SQQQ where I should have actually bought in, maybe 31, 32, something like that. Would have been a great area to buy. This is that consolidation period. And I would have been adding 10 or 20 shares to that consolidation period. Now, as it broke above this resistance, right, as you can see, it broke above the 200-day moving average and basically this line here, right, of 32. Well, that's what this consolidation line is. As soon as it starts trading above where my ticker is, then it's all H3 confirmation or consolidation, right? Or confirmation. So after that consolidation phase, you have maybe 10 or 20 shares, and then as you see me, I'm starting to add more position. 10, 20 shares, 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe you're at 100 shares now, and you're pushing the gas, and you're fully invested to get up back to this maybe moving average, or maybe to $38. That's a very nice resistance. So high risk if you're investing in a company that's going down, medium risk if you're in that horizontal consolidation period, and a lot lower risk if you're investing in companies that are in that confirmation period. So I hope that helps you guys just a little bit when you decide and you're making your decisions and your trade plan on where you want to trade and where you want to use these and implement these into your life or into your trading plan. So up $2, nothing crazy, almost 1%. I really do believe we can get up to 1 or 2%. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Major. How we doing? Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to a live day trading session. This is what you get with me every morning when you subscribe, 100% free. We got a ton of resources as well in our Discord. So, I mean, examples, we have our weekly economic calendars, and we also have, earnings, stock earnings reports that we give out when they become available. So, some more news here as far as why the markets are selling off. Samsung stock jumps on buyback plan. So Samsung actually seems like it's doing okay. Unveiled plans Friday to buy back 10 trillion won, 7.2 billion of its shares over the next 7% in South Korean trading. Samsung said it would be buyback stocks worth 3 trillion won over the next 3 months starting Monday. Its shares are down more than 30% this year as the memory chip maker and producer of Android phones struggle to catch up to the rival during the artificial AI boom. So Samsung is behind. Okay, Samsung is behind. What is it? Do you guys know what Samsung is? SANG. Uh, Palantir stocks rises. So Palantir actually goes up because it goes from the New York Stock Exchange and shifts into a listing in the NASDAQ, which is pretty great. So the company, a favorite of retailers, PLTR, is actually up this morning as well. Company favorite of retail investors said it will transfer the listing of its Class A common shares to the NASDAQ Global Select Market. With trading set to start on November 26th, its common shares will continue to trade under PLT symbol. Upon transferring, Palantir anticipates meeting the eligibility requirement of the NASDAQ 100 index, which is amazing because the eligibility for the NASDAQ is actually quite hard to get. So it is amazing to see Palantir doing so well. QQQ finding some support at 501. This is kind of a key area of interest. I think it can still sell off because there is no actual key area. Possibly, I'd say, yeah, I'd say maybe that 501, 501.88, something like that. But it doesn't seem like it held at all. It's at 501.69. Could we see a reversal pattern setting up? Or is this going to be another bull pattern? Is it going to get rejected on this moving average? Quite bullish, actually. Very bullish. Let's see if this is just a bull trap. How are we all doing this morning? Good, I hope. Good, I hope. Good morning, everyone. Quality looks good. Everything looks good. Even if those tickers are a little loud. What even ticked? I don't remember. I had something on here that I was like, if it's gonna push, oh, BTCT, yes, see, it can't get above even $18, so I would invest in something that's descending down, right? We want this thing to be going up. Mara 2125, Lunar pushing up, very nice. I kind of thought it would, as a very oversold company, bouncing off that 200-day moving average from 9 to 11, guys. $200 on 100 shares in less than 15 minutes. So this would have been an amazing trade today. Unfortunately, we did not partake in it. They're up 8%. Tesla's up today. And SQQQ is up. DJT is up as well. Very nice. From 26 to 28, another $2 per share. Continuing to watch my SQQQ position. And we'll be adding more to it as I see fit. May add to it now as it bounces off of this 20-day moving average. Very possible, very possible. Overbought, JDST, TQQQ. There we go. Let's see if it touches that VWAP and gets rejected. If it does, then we can remain bearish. We will remain bearish. SPY also struggling to find any type of upward strength. JNUG finally pushing up from 39 to 40, or even from 38 to 40, $2 per share overnight. Slight pullback. Getting a retest on QQQ. I do believe it's going to get rejected, and we are going to continue lower low and lower highs. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Yeah. Let's go. Means SQQ can come down just a little bit, and we could buy more at a lower share price. Let's be careful here. Going to be testing that VWAP. Average share price is right where it's at, 33.92. 33.92. There we go. Strong rejection, which means SQQ should push up. I should have actually bought some more there at 33.92, which is right where my average price is. So I don't want to add more to it, as this is starting to show signs of some downward potential, right? We don't want to invest in something that is going down, even though the bigger picture is the market is selling off. So let's make sure that we maintain that sell-off status. If we do, then SQQ will continue to rise. Let me know if those alerts are too loud. I can always lower them. What are you guys looking at today? I'd love to know. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys are watching or potentially trading. I would love to know. Very nice. Now the market could turn around and become bullish very easily. As long as it's testing that VWAP, as long as it keeps getting rejected, we're going to be okay. Right. Perfect. That's what we want to see. Strong rejection on the VWAP. This will begin to push up. There we go. Strong push up. Betting against the market. Okay, this is a very risky trade. Please do not copy me. We're betting against the market this morning. Market is overdue for a pullback, and that is what we are actually going to be capitalizing on. Market's overbought, guys, but that doesn't mean it can't go higher, okay? Just because the market is overbought does not mean it cannot go higher. It can totally go higher. It's just the way the market is, right? Where you'd have probably an 80% bias that the market will always go up, always. So when we are biased, it's a very, very small bias, and we do not have a large position. Okay, this is a very small position compared to what I normally trade with. Usually I'll get in with 100, 200, 300 shares. We're trying to be very conservative to close this week out. There we go, pushing up. Appreciate your guys' support as well. It's not easy showing up every morning, guys. So pat yourself on the back. Get yourself a treat this weekend. Celebrate. Celebrate those small victories. Showing up every day. Even if you don't make a trade, just showing up and looking at the charts can be a huge difference when it comes to your investing journey. Simply showing up and having a watch list can really begin to prepare you and allow you to identify how the market works. How does it react to news? And when you start to begin to understand that, you'll realize that everything is pretty much connected. Everything is connected. The markets are selling off. Okay, we're getting to new lows, and that's fine. The market was selling off for quite some time anyways, right? It trades within this range. It likes 400 and it likes 500. So when it breaks out of that 500, it's like, uh-oh, we need to come back down and correct a little bit, right? Now we've seen a nasty sell-off earlier this year in July, where I believe it lost, 16%. The market, Nasdaq market went down 16% in a very small amount of time. Looked like in 22 days, it lost over $90, around $90 of its share price. Now, will this happen again? I don't think it will. My honest opinion, it may come down and test this 495 level, and we may see a bounce at 500, right, or 498, which would make sense because then that means SQQQ would be touching this 200-day moving average right around 35 to 36. Okay, so we could still squeeze another dollar per share out of this. That'd be fantastic, right? We can get $1 per share. That'd be fantastic. Betting against the market. Okay, TQQ still trading below the VWAP. Still getting rejected. That's exactly what we want to see. So SQQQ is our position for the day. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. If we are, we could always go just a little bit longer. Usually go on for 30 minutes to an hour. Bala, good morning, Johnny. Is ARM oversold? ARM, let's take a look. ARM Holdings, looks like we've reviewed this company in the past. Looks like it's coming up on some previous buy levels. Now do be aware that this ARM has gone down all the way to $95. Okay, now that's not to scare you. That's just to make you aware of where it's been in the past. Okay, in order to trade right, we must look to the left. I love that saying, and I think it sticks very well. So a lot of support at $95 before it had a push up to $189, then selling back off to 90 to 95, showcasing that none of this move from 95 to 189, none of it was validated. None of it actually moved the share price higher. Okay, it went all the way up and came all the way back down. Now if it went all the way up and then stayed at 140, then we can consider a new support at 140, right? Now because it didn't, it shot down to 95. All of this chart doesn't even matter. None of this even matters right here. Okay, you can say it does, but it doesn't mean it's going to go back up to 189, because this reaction was all part of an overreaction, which then sold off and became an even bigger overreaction. Okay, so just to give you a little history on ARM. Now ARM has been pushing up from 95 and then started trading within this area. Do you see this kind of horizontal range pattern where it's trading between like 116 and 150-ish? Okay, for quite some time, trading kind of going up and down, breaks above, gets out of this level here to new highs again, gets up to 164. Now, what would you say this is doing as far as the direction? I believe it's selling off. We're still in a sell-off period. We're still in that first stage of rejection. Okay, now we may start seeing some signs of a support, maybe within this range. See how choppy it was at 130, pretty choppy in the 130s to the 135s. Well, we're actually getting back into that range of the 130s and the 135. So this lines, okay, this does not mean that you should take a trade in it or buy into it right now, but these are getting into that buy territory. Okay, with that said, this can come all the way down to 116 also. 115, 116 is a very strong support right here. As you can see, look at all this resistance, consolidation or support, pushed up, came all the way back down, found support again at 115. So, man, this is still selling off. I'd be very careful. Looking at the 5 minute, it's showing signs of consolidation, but now just because it's showing a small piece of consolidation does not mean this is just going to automatically be part of our 3 stages of reversal. Okay, it's important to know that these companies can pump slightly and then sell off. Look what it did yesterday. Pumped all the way up from 36 to 38, completely sold off back to 34, just a complete jackknife, and then from 34 back to 38. So if you feel like you can make some day trades like this and you can take an opportunity with its volatility, then definitely make a move. If you're thinking of trading this more long term as a swing trade, I don't think it's quite there yet. I personally don't think it's quite there yet. We're going to want to see this actually start curling up, making newer highs, right? We want to start seeing this thing kind of stutter step. Same way it stutter step down, we want this to start stutter stepping up, kind of like this, right? It don't matter if it takes a while. What matters is that it's stutter stepping upward, right? We don't want this to flip and actually be trading this going down, right? We want this to show small signs of progress up. Right now, look at it. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, right? So now what's going to happen? Are we going to push up and get a newer high and a newer low? Maybe something like this. Or are we just going to begin to sell off? And we're actually kind of seeing that very clearly right now. And there it is. There's that candle. And we might start seeing it go like this. So right now, I would just be aware of it. You know, right now I'd understand where it's trading. I'd keep an eye on it. I'd set my alert, you know, maybe 131. Start there. Create your alert above 131. If you can get above 131, then we know, okay, it's creating a new level, a new high. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Bala, thank you. Very clear. Perfect, guys. Perfect. This is what I'm here for. What other companies would you guys like me to look at? Let me know. We're already up almost 1%. 1%, guys. SQQQ pushed up to 34.25. I'm not, you know, bragging at all. There's nothing to brag about, guys. But 1% is a good foundation to live by. If you can make 1% every single day, 200 and I think, was it 250 trading days, 220? That's 220% a year, no matter how you look at it. If you trade the same $1,000 that you trade every single week with, right? Let's just say you start with 1,000 and you make 1%. Okay, that's $10. Like, man, $10. $10 ain't nothing. Well, $10 a day adds up very quickly. That's $50 a week. That's $200 a month. By month 2, okay, let's say you start in January. You're preparing to start your trading journey now in January. Now January comes around. You have your 1,000. You just made your extra $200 for the month on 1%. You have $1,200 in February. And this is where that compounding effect takes effect, right? So now instead of making $200 for the month, you're making $220 a month. The next month you're making, you know, what's that, $1,400? So now you're making, you know, $15 a month. 140 a week. Man, my math is all messed up. Anyways, the point is 1% a day, 10% a week, 40% a month. You could double your account size in 10 weeks. There's 50 weeks in a year, so you'd be able to consistently double your account over 5 times in that 1 year. Okay? Start with 1,000, doubled it to 2, doubled it to 4, doubled it to 8, doubled it to 16, and if you're extremely aggressive and you understand what you're doing, yes, you're going to have some bad days, you're going to have some losses, but let's just say that you're winning every day 1, 2, 3%, and you're losing a 0.1% or a 0.5%, right? You're not taking any more than a 1% loss. Anything less than 1% on a loss is a good day for you as a beginner. You don't want to lose 10% or 20% of a position. Hope that makes sense. And that's where I started. That's where I started. That's what I've been doing. And it's been working for me for a long time. I grew an account from literally $300 to over $30,000. And now I'm doing a small account challenge. One, not everyone has $30,000. Not everyone has $10,000 or $1,000. But the point is that you can consistently grow it from even a small number, even with free shares when you sign up with Inc. Okay, I think it's the third link in the description below. We got WeBull, MooMoo, and ROBINHOod. You are more than welcome to sign up with all 3 because you are allowed to have multiple brokerage companies. And I do as well. I have money in different places for different things. I have long-term investment portfolio. I have a monthly dividend capturing portfolio. And I have this higher risk day trading portfolio. And each one has specific criterias that I've set in order to trade or add or minus certain positions and companies in and out of those portfolios. That's my goal this year, guys. That's my goal for 2024, for 2025. It's to help as many people as I can educate themselves, okay? Not me educating you, but just giving you that motivation and that excitement to educate yourself, to start learning for yourself how to make money in the stock market. It's an amazing skill to learn, and you could take it anywhere you are in the world. I could be in Europe trading the US stock market. I don't have to be in the US to trade US, and that's what's so cool about it. Okay, huge push up. Breaking 34.28. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Let's see how much higher we can push up as it is breaking that previous resistance. Now, this is exactly what we want to see as AMT, I'm just using it as an example, or ARM was showing signs of a staggering downward pattern. This is showing signs of a staggering upward pattern. This is what I love, guys. I love to see these where it bounces up, it tests support, it bounces up again, it tests support again, and it stays above these little moving averages and keeps retesting these moving averages. Every time it retests the moving averages, put a little more in. Goes up, comes back, tests that moving average, goes up. Had a pullback here, which is where I got a little scared. I thought, okay, maybe this is where we're going to reverse. But consolidated small for a minute, and now it's pushed all the way up, bounced back, and now it's pushing up. So this is exactly what we want to see as it's creating higher highs, higher lows, and constantly validating that this company is valued at that correct price. When you start beginning to see companies that are extremely choppy like this here, or even like this at pre-market, like if you start seeing this during open hours where it's just chopping like this, that means this is consolidation. That means the buyers and sellers have met basically a battleground, and neither one of them can get through the battleground. It's kind of like tug of war. The buyers are stepping in, the sellers are stepping in, the buyers are stepping in, the sellers, and until someone pushes them over the edge, that's when you get that break below, is when you get that consolidation. All this pressure building up is when it finally makes that move, and boom, okay? Also, when people are on trends, people trade trends. People are aware of what's happening, okay? Whether you think so or not, there are many stages to invest in. I guarantee you we are all on the very, very bottom level of all of those stages. Okay, it takes 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to get up to those elite level traders. But if you want to get to those levels and you want to be more profitable than you are currently, then it's up to you to show up every day. It's up to you to be consistent with your trades, to stick to your trade plan, to make sure that you are disciplined with what you're doing. If your trade plan says wait, then you need to wait. And if your trade plan fails, then you need to hold yourself accountable and understand why you failed. Why did this go south? Why did this trade work or not work? Be accountable. Be hard on yourself. There's no one going to be hard on you. Be hard on yourself to make the right decisions and to stick to your plan. Okay? And again, it's not like, look at me, I'm so great. I'm not. I make mistakes all the time. I'm constantly losing money, and you guys will see that in my live stream. But the point is that I'm losing money compared to my overall position size. And by doing that, I have more consistent green days, less frequent red days, and that alone will help with your profitability. If you make 2% Monday, 2% Monday, 2% Tuesday, you lose 1% on Wednesday, and then you make 1%, 1%, you're still up. You're up 7%, you lost one, you're up 6% on the week. And I know these percentages sound really small, guys, but they add up. They add up over time. TQQQ looking for some type of support now. $75. Let's see if this is not another another bull trap for the bears, or are we going to pop nicely at 500? You know, it is very interesting to see that maybe, hey, 500 is a strong support. Maybe this is where we start seeing that bounce. RSI is obviously oversold. MACD is starting to curl over. Now, if MACD crosses over the signal, the orange line crosses over the blue line, then we can see some upward momentum. But again, look at that. Very, very bearish still, guys. And I love to see it. Obviously, because I am in an SQQ trade. Now, am I going to be all sentimental and be like, oh, the market, the selling off, we're in a recession, sell everything? No. No, I'm not. I still believe the market is extremely bullish. It's just having a bit of a correction period now this week. We're going to have a small pullback. This is small. This is insignificant. Everyone's like, the sky is falling. The stock market is crashing. It's like, no, it's not. Not really. This happens all the time. There's constant recorrections and pullbacks in the market. Look at this. Look how much it went up. It went up from 138 to 233. It went up 100 points. And then went from 233 back to 157, almost losing the entire gain, right? So it took, how long did it take? It took a year, almost a year and a half to go up 63%. And it went down 70% in a month. Okay? But everyone's like, the sky is falling, right? The market's crashed. And there it goes. Popped all the way back up, guys. So there's nothing wrong with pullbacks. When pullbacks happen, it actually creates more of like a slingshot effect for it to go higher. It's amazing. So we want these pullbacks. After that big pullback, after that 70% sell-off, it went up 130% in 2 years. So at any time in 2 years, you could have invested and made money. Again, same thing. Do you guys notice the pattern? Pulled back to that SMA line. It likes to be at the moving average. It's the average price over 200 days. So that gives you a really good indication of where people are willing to buy, where the value of this particular stock or company is set at. Would you buy a Tesla for 200,000 if you could buy it for 50? No, you wouldn't. You would wait for it to come down to $50,000 before buying it again. Same thing with stocks. When you get a discount at the store, there's couponers. Couponers are a great example, right? I'm not going to buy this product for $10 when I know next week there could potentially be a sale, potentially, keyword, and I can get it for 50% off. Would you take that deal and wait a week? Yeah, I would. I definitely would, and I think you should too. So it took 400 days to go down 35%. Since that initial pullback from that 200-day moving average, look what it's done, guys. It's pushed all the way up to 515. 100% profit in about 2 years. So we're getting these really insane moves. We're getting these 1 to 2 year bull runs, and then we're getting like a year or two rejection, or a 2 year bull run and then a 1 month rejection. Okay, so this could last for maybe a month. We could see the majority of November and December pulling it back, this pulling back, selling off. Now, could it get back to that moving average? Easily. It's already almost there. 495 looks like where it's going to end up. 495, and that's just the beginning. If this wants to sell off like it did last time it crossed over this 200-day moving average, it actually lost a significant amount of money, 16% or almost $100. So if this pushes back 16%, let's just take a look. 16%. Oh my goodness, there's no way. Is that right? There's no way. That can't be right. Yeah, that is right. That is right. 16%. Not good, guys. Not good. If this pushes down 16%, we're looking more like 430. 430. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it'll go to 430. Worst case scenario goes to 50, just above 419 and 446. Do you see how it created a higher high? Even now, you can see almost a trend line. Almost a perfect trend line, guys. Do you see that? Or is it just me? Are my eyes just starting to get adjusted to these charts. I think so. Could we get a bounce right here, guys? Look at this. Perfect setup. Well, not quite, actually. Hold on. Let me bring this down just a little bit. That'd be more of a perfect setup there, I guess. Let's bring this up right here. Bring that down right there. Keep touching here, 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 and almost here. So could it pull back to 497, 498? Sure could. Could it pull back to that moving average, about 495? Yes, it could. So this is where we are taking advantage. It's still selling off as we speak. This whole time the market's been selling off, and we've actually been making money because it's pushing up. Remember we said we were down, we started this position with nothing, right? Added, came down, added, came down, added. And this point right here, what was it, 33.90 something? I was break even, right? I was break even. Now, if it crashed below VWAP and the market started becoming bullish and going up, then this would begin selling off. But because it held that support, we understand that the market is overbought and it's selling off. We can make a better decision and a more well-informed, educated guess that this is going to go up due to the market selling off, due to the missed earnings, due to Bitcoin, due to all-time highs. Everything that happened this week is a correlation, and it's all put into this trading plan. It sounds crazy. It sounds like a lot of work, but it actually can be simple, right? It sounds complex. It is complex, but sometimes complexity can be so simple, it's dumb, right? Like our phones. They're called smartphones, but they're so complex. They're so sophisticated and high tech that it almost makes us feel dumb, right? So, very interesting. Up 2%. This is what we were going for. This is exactly what we were talking about. We wanted to push up at least 2% on the day. We did, from 33 to 34 now. 1.86%, almost 2%. I'll probably lock in profits at 2% just to do it. Markets are selling off, but it doesn't mean they have to stay selling off forever. What goes up does come down, and when the market always goes up. It's just the way it is. They have gravity and stuff falls to the ground. We have stock market and it all rises. It's just the way it works if you know what you're looking for. Finding that support potentially at 499.20, I think it's just going to keep getting rejected. If it does, hey, we're good. You know, I could have added way more to this. I still can add more to this and write it up to maybe 35.70, 36 even. Seems like that might be a key level of resistance. Not only resistance, but it was key support. Look at that. For quite some time, $36 was a key level. So if we can get up to $36, I would consider selling. Even $35. Any sign of a pullback, we're going to sell. We're actually going to go ahead and put our stop in. Let's just go 9. And then let's have a stop at 34. So if it goes below 34, we will get out. Chart settings. You guys want to see my trades, open order, show trading record, and show open position. There we go. Okay, so here's where my position is, 33.92. I want to sell anything above 34.50. Right now that I found that support here, 34.50. And this is where you become now 100% risk-free. Now, we could have been 100% risk-free starting out as soon as it made this initial push from the VWAP. Anything above 33.92 would be risk-free, right? So I'm risking that support, say, less than 1%. I'm risking $1. Well, what do you mean you're risking $1 if you put 300? I put 300 in, but I'm only willing to lose $1 of my trade. Okay, now you could lose whatever you want. You could lose $2 down to that 200-day moving average. You can go all the way down to 1% of your position size, which would have been $3, right? It's a little bit too much for me. And I knew if it came all the way down to this level, we're just done, right? So $1 risk, okay? That's what I said. $1 I risked. And I'm already up $6. I'm like, well, that's crazy, Johnny. It's like, yeah, it is. I'm risking a very small amount to make money. So now that we're here in the green, 2% is $6. Okay, I feel like that's a great area to sell. And at any point, right, I could have my stop loss at 34, 34.10, 34.20, 34.50, right? So now our trade is risk-free. We have a stop at 34.50. If it goes anywhere close to 34.50 and below and starts to sell off, we lock in profits. And that's just the way it is. That's exactly how we like to trade these companies. Look for those signs of upward momentum. Buy at a really good price. Add to your position as it's showing signs of it going up, not down. And then as it's going up, keep raising this, right? I could have started right here. Okay, I'm up 34, 34.03. Okay, I went up to 34 and a quarter. I'm pushing up. Okay, oh, we're going to get a retest right here at 34.16. It retested and went up. All right, I'm pushing this up even higher. And I'm just slowly raising my stop loss. And the more and more I raise it, the more and more money that I am able to begin to lock in. Just like right here, I'm going to go up to 34, 34.50. Because I know that was a key level. Okay. Now, can this come back down and test 34.55? Yes, it could. But if it tests 34.55, then I won't get stopped out at 34.50, thus still being able to capitalize on this going up. And you can have these stops as high as tight as you want or as loose as you want. You can have them up 1 cent. That went up 1 cent, you push your stop up 1 cent. But remember, if a company goes up 5 or 10 cents, it has a potential to pull back 5 or 10%, right? So you don't want to get stopped out right here. Like if I put a stop on this candle, it went up and came down, I would have got stopped out here. I mean, even way down here. If I bought in at $33.90, at $34, I bought in at 34 right here. I set a stop at $33.90. It comes down to $33.90. I get stopped out in the very first trade in the very first second. Okay, so that's not good. So what you want to do is give yourself a little cushion, and sometimes I'll wait. I'll wait to put my stop until I'm well above where I want to take profit. I can now take 2% profit at no risk whatsoever. My risk is now gone. The highest risk you will ever see is when you first take that initial trade. There's so much uncertainty when you take that first trade, right? You could have took the trade here, it sold off, got out, been biased by trading at work, and then never traded this again, missed out on 2%. But because, again, trading plan, aware of what I'm doing, and I'm trying to lead by example and showcase this to you all, I was able to actually perform this very good. This trade was a very solid trade. This is textbook. It's going up. You add to it. It begins to sell off. You sell it. Very easy. Up 2% today. Now, 2% could be anything. 2% on 1,000 is 20 bucks. 2% on 10,000 is $200. And 10% on 100,000 is $2,000. So the money amount doesn't matter. You know, what you're trading with today is not what you're going to be trading with in the future. If you have $100 or $1,000 today and you get consistent with this, you could be trading with $1,000, $10,000, $100,000 later on down your investing journey. But it all starts with being able to consistently lock in small amounts of money. Here we go. Markets are beginning to react a little differently than previously. 34.55, 34.50. See how it didn't get stopped out just yet? Can we get a bounce? 34.50 is my stop, okay? We want to see a test and we want it to go back up to 34.67. Oh, retest. This could be the first signs of a pullback. Almost been an hour on the live. I appreciate everyone who's continuing to watch. Here we go. Okay, so now that it retested, see how it did that? Went up, retest, and should go up again. I love this, guys. I love these setups. Push up, retest that 9 EMA moving average, and push up to another new high. Let's see it play out that way. There it goes. Okay, 2%. We're going to go ahead and increase our stop to 34.55. Although it can come down, I'm going to be very tight about this. That way we can make sure we lock in our 2%, okay? 34.58. There we go. And we're out just like that. 34.55. Almost capitalized on a whole $6, which would have been a complete 2%. It was like 1.89%. But let's just call it 2%. And very, very textbook trade setup. We had a plan. We had a thesis for our plan. We knew the market was selling off this morning. We took advantage of it by investing in SQQQ. Okay. Now next week we are going to get a little bit more aggressive. Next week we are upping that. All of it's going to be a little bit more intense, a little bit more advanced. And let me know if I'm going a little too fast next week, because we could always slow it down and come back to the basics. Okay. There's nothing wrong with ever going back to the basics. 34.55. Now, here's a scenario. If the market does begin to recover, then SQQ will begin to sell off, and then we can actually jump right in to TQQQ, which is for the market. It's bulls for the market. So market's down, it's saying 6% on TQQQ because it's 3 times triple leveraged QQQ. So being that it's down 2%, if we can get a nice recovery of 2%, then TQQ will go up 6%. 6% from 7, which is now another new low. I guess I could put that in. To now resistance levels. They've created their own resistance here. We'll go to 1 hour. From 75 to 84. $8 per share, almost $9 per share, and 10% profit. Okay. So I'm not biased, right? If anything, I'm just aware. I'm aware that the market tends to go up over time, even when we have these pullbacks, corrections, or whatever you want to call them. It's basically just resetting itself, right? It's resetting itself. It's trying to get back to that normal average price. Just like with cars, just like with anything, we have fluctuations in everything in our life. Corn price goes up and down, gas prices go up and down, food prices go up and down. They're constantly changing the prices of eggs and milk and orange juice constantly, guys. We just don't recognize it because they're very small increments. 1 week it might be 10 cents cheaper, 1 week it might be 10 or 20 cents more. And of course, with inflation, everything's more expensive. But the point is everything has a value. And over time, value changes. How do we capitalize on those value changes to where eventually, when the market sells off like this, and everyone's scared and freaking out, we have a nice nest egg, and we have the ability to trade both sides of the market if that's what you choose to do. Did I take a short position? No, I didn't. Could I have? Sure. I could have got in my margin account and shorted the market like this, took on marginal interest, right? Could have. But I found an easier solution, a better plan than having to short, right? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. It has been a lot easier lately to be more consistent. I know at the beginning it was a struggle, and I do apologize. Missed days, the late days, but moving forward, guys, I am passionate and I am super driven and excited to show up every day for you guys and for myself at Market Open and give you the time that you deserve and the time you need to learn how to become a more successful and profitable trader. Guys, I enjoyed today's live session. It was awesome. I enjoyed the FOMC meeting that we went over yesterday with Jerome Powell. That was also a live session. We had a lot of comments, a lot of people tuning in. It was amazing. It was an amazing turnout. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to do more. I appreciate you guys' time. Like always, let's remember to end the year on a green note, and Let's have fun this weekend. Let's go out and celebrate our newfound skills. Let's go out and celebrate these wins, these losses. Celebrate the entire week in its entirety, in its whole. Journal your thoughts. How do you feel? The money you made, the money you lost, just everything. Just visualize your success, and just know next week on Monday morning, we'll be right back at it for another live morning day trading session. Now, one quick thing, we also do our Sunday meetups where we get everyone across the board from our Discord, Investing for Beginners community. All of them all meet up Sunday night for our weekly meetup and Sunday night stock talk, where we go over the game plan for the week. I share with you my trade ideas and update my 10 stocks we watch on that watch list, adding to it or removing from it. So excited for next week. Thank you all for your time and your support, and have a great day. Have a great weekend.